Hello, Raven fans, Oriole fans. We're back. All right. So video ran a little long, so we're gonna do a part two this week. All right, part two. And so we're gonna start with baseball in this one, and we're definitely gonna go ahead and do that for you. World Series ended, so we have a new World Series champion. The Houston Astros are your new 2022 World Series champions. Uh, World Series MVP Jeremy Pena, a rookie, winning the World Series MVP. I thought he was fantastic. Astros offense, terrific in this one. I thought all the way through. I thought the Phillies looked like a team of destiny, but I think they ran into a buzzsaw, Jeremy Pena, in the Astros. Really felt good for Dusty Baker, obviously. 70 years old, came back, uh, really helped the franchise. Perfect face for a franchise accused of cheating. Perfect guy to have. Dusty Baker, great reputation. You really feel good for him winning the World Series. And obviously, Trey Mancini, with the literal, uh, with everything that Trey Mancini's been through, absolutely. Trey Mancini winning the World Series. Didn't play particularly well up until the final game, but really, you feel good for him uh, really winning the World Series. That's exactly what you want to happen in a situation like that. Here's a guy, bad team, so many years, loyal, team gets good, they jettison him, and they send him somewhere where he can win the big game at the end. Outstanding. So really feel good for those teams. Great games, I thought. Phillies, really nothing to feel bad. I mean, obviously you didn't win the World Series. I mean, so obviously you don't feel great about that. Feeling good going forward. I think they might even be the favorites next year in the National League. We'll see how the rest of free agency goes, but they're really good. Actually, really good. Their top of the order was, I thought, fantastic all playoffs. Uh, JT Realmuto, I think, might be best catcher in all of baseball. Bryce Harper really showed up. Kyle Schwarber, fun to watch. Juan Segura, love him. Fun to watch. So it's a good World Series to watch. So now we're officially in the off season with baseball. So thank you to both teams for a very good World Series. All right, so let's go ahead and preview our free agency last week. So we went ahead and did that as well. So we went ahead and did our free agency preview last week. So we did a couple of things as well. So this week we're going to go ahead and do our free agency preview. So we did the infield last week. So this week we're going to do outfield and pitchers. So with the outfield guys too as well, I didn't do one position as well. I just called them. Yeah. So I've seen that broken down center left. I think like in that it matters a lot less. I think it matters a lot less. And plus, we're going to talk about starting and relief pitching. Starting pitching is, and again, I think fans kind of don't realize this, how expensive starting pitching is. Well, we're going to talk about it here in this stream campaign. All right, there we go. All right. So here we go. Outfield. So I did have them in order in terms of, I think, what's going to be the market value for them. Also slightly to the 10 in terms of market value to the Birds. So keeping that in mind. Aaron Judge is best player in the league, probably likely the MVP. He's free agent. Enemies, are the Yankees going to keep him? Could you possibly let a guy have a season like he had and then tell him, well, we're not going to – I can tell you this. You're not going to get a discount. He's going to get the biggest contract we ever saw. I mean, there's no other way. I mean, with the year he had, and Judge is not. It's not like he came from nowhere. I think I kind of like got that vibe for some people. Judge is not like he came from nowhere. Judge, basically, uh, has been good for a while. I mean, the only question with him is the health. So we'll go ahead and see how much money he gets. But all this, well, he's not gonna. No, he's gonna get it. I don't know. It won't be the Orioles for sure. It'll be the Dodgers or one of the Mets or something like that. I can absolutely see that. But with the Yankees really let him go, their offense without him was terrible. Well, I think terrible might be overstated, but their offense clearly he was the I want to say linchpin, but it was more than that. It was definitely more than that with Judge. So definitely, I think Judge is fantastic. He's definitely going to get. It drops a lot after him. Brandon Nimmo, you see him 16 home runs, 64 RBIs, 274. Good year for him. He's not a guy you could put in the middle of your lineup, but definitely he's a contributing guy. I think he's probably the next best one on the list here. Age 29 season. And these seasons are the age they're going to be next season. Keep in mind. So, age 29 season. It's hard to think Andrew Benintendi. This guy was supposed to be the greatest young hitter prospect. And basically he's what we call in the old days a slap hitter. he's a slap hitter. It's hard to think of him with the Yankees at all because he was such a big Red Sox prospect. I think there's a market for him. I think there's a lot of teams that would be interested in him. I don't love him. I think he's a little bit because of his height and all that other stuff. I think somebody's going to give him more than what I would give him. Trey Mancini. I have him a little higher than what I've seen in other places. I think Trey is absolutely going to help somebody. I think 20 home runs. I think that you see the stat line: 18 home runs, 34 RBIs. That's not bad. It's not out of the question for him though to hit. I mean, I don't think it is. Hit 20 home runs, 200 RBIs. I'm not 200 RBIs, but maybe like 80 or 90. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Average, I thought was lower than I thought, but I don't see anything wrong with Trey. Going forward, I would definitely add a Trey Mancini. I mean, obviously we're a little bit biased, being Oriole fans and all, but I mean, I don't see any reason why you couldn't have a Trey Mancini on your team. Mitch Hageder. There's a guy again. This is kind of more of a C outfielder. Not a guy with the Judge and the upside as well. Contributing guy. You could have him on your team. Contributing guy. Mitch Hageder. Bit of a resurgence for this guy, Jack Peterson. Age 31 season next season, 23 home runs, 70 RBI. So here's a guy kind of relegated to the bench a little bit. Like that kind of came back. So is he back? I think probably. I'm not as convinced, but I think somebody might be. I think because there isn't a lot of great outfield prospects. I think he's a guy that definitely somewhere might. I think like a Minnesota. I'm not predicting Minnesota in particular, but Minnesota or somebody who needs outfielders or something like that. Take a look at this guy and you can get upgraded. I think that's. I think he gets a good contract from like a mid-level team. Dave Kingman, real name Joey Gallo, older fans. Dave Kingman was a tremendous home run hitter who like couldn't hit his weight. He was always at like 190, 180, and that's kind of in Joey Gallo's career. Look at that, 19 home runs, 47 RBIs, and 160 average. One-dimensional all the way. Big bat that you can bring in, period. I don't think he does anything else well. I mean, he's a decent enough outfielder. Big bat. I believe it or not, I think like the Yankees would cut like a small ballpark is like perfect for this guy. Like somewhere where he's definitely going to hit home runs and help you because that's really the only way he can help you. So I think that's we'll see how much value that has. It'll be interesting. Jerkerson profile. Again, huge prospect, kind of like Beninati coming up in the majors. Hard for me to believe that he's 30 years old. Wow. Young prospect, really good with the Padres. I think he can kind of do more in the right spot. They kind of had him hitting lower in the order. I think on the team you can have a good 2 or 3 hitter with him. Outfield, but he can play several positions. I could see him at second or something. So versatility there as well. I like it. I definitely think I don't know if the Orioles have an outfield need. If they did, this is the type of guy you want to bring in. Versatile, whatever. We'll see what happens with Santander, etc. We'll see that what happens. But I think Jerkerson Profar is a guy I really like. Like what he did with the Padres this year. JD Martinez, outfielder listed. I put him as a DH because basically he's been DHing the last couple of years only. So JD, I think, is in diminished power numbers compared to what he was a few years ago. Contributing hitter in the lineup. I mean, numbers not bad, definitely. Could he be an everyday DH, part-time outfielder for somebody? Absolutely. I don't think the Red Sox would sign him. I wouldn't be angry if the Orioles looked at him. I wouldn't break my heart. I mean, I think they're gonna need a player like this. There's always room for a guy like this. You know, have him play in the outfield every once in a while while DHing. I don't think if this didn't get too expensive, I don't think I have a big problem with this. And Michael Conforto, 14 home runs, 55 RBIs, 232 average. We'll see how he does going forward. One of the younger guys on the list, definitely. So potential there. Did a little better this year through his career. So we'll see that goes. He hits at number 10. So let's go to the starting pitching. Now, fans, understand this. Starting pitching is incredibly expensive. Some of the numbers I'm hearing, y'all, Carlos Rodon, there's no chance. I want to be clear. There's no chance this contract is less than $200 million. This none. Like 30, 34, 35, I think is where this is going to go. I think no worse than like 30. I could maybe see like 30 or 31 or something. Maybe. If you really like. That's where this is going to go. All these guys on the list. So let's see. And we don't know what Mike Elias is going to do. We don't know what Mike Elias has thought. Like, unlike me with the Ravens, like DaCosta and Harp, they've been there long. I could kind of get a sense. This is new territory. Mike Elias trying to build a team that's a good team. We'll see what happens. Let's go over the starters. Carlos Rodon, best pitcher on the market, easy, $35 million. Where he goes, I have no clue. He can pick it. He can go anywhere he wants. Definitely, easily the number one guy on the market. Not even close in terms of his performance, in terms of his age. Definitely looking at I think it'd be a 5 or 6 year deal. I think if he wants one. So definitely he could go anywhere he wants. Yankees, Dodgers, Mets, Angels, everybody with money is going to be interested in him. I really don't even have a read for you where he goes, except for I know this much. It's going to be a lot of money. I don't know where, but I know it'll be expensive, whoever it is. Jacob DeGrom, and this is my list. You may see different, but this is what this is my list. What I think DeGrom, I think is second. I didn't realize he was 35. Wow, I'm a little surprised. I think the Mets keep him. I think the Mets keep him. I definitely think he's an ace. I think he didn't pitch as much last year with the record. But I think the Mets keep him. But we'll see. I think he's out there. Clayton Kershaw, I think he's been the best pitcher in Major League Baseball in the last 10 years. That's the first thing on my list when I think about Clayton Kershaw. Even like you look at that record. 12-3, 228. Anybody could use that. He's been injured the last couple of years. Does he have a Clemens-like run later in his career with him? Can he, Clemens, the Rocket had to fight through injuries. And a couple years he was kind of, and then later in his career he lights out again. So I think that could absolutely happen with a Clayton Kershaw. Can he actually do that? Verlander, probably your Cy Young winner in the American League. Is going to be. He did opt out of his contract. So definitely he's out there as a free agent. He's going to get big money too. It'll be a 1 year deal. I can't imagine it would be like a 4 or 5 year deal. Verlander, a bit of a resurgence. I'm almost positive he stays in Houston. I don't see any reason why he'd want to leave. Nathan Eovaldi kind of popped up here a couple times. He kind of picks his free agent year to be good. 6'3", 387. This one I think is a little more risky. I definitely think he'll get a lot of money. Again, in his top 5, but I think this one's a little more risky. I think he's a little bit more inconsistent than the rest of those guys we just talked about. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I think this one. I think the Orioles will look in on more than those other 4. I don't think the Orioles spend that kind of money. I think they'll at least look in on football. Now, the rest of this list, I do think the Orioles will take a look at. Chris Bassett, much better than career seed, 34 years old. Again, older than I thought. 15 wins, 15 and 9, 3.42 ERA. Definitely the Orioles would be looking in on these 3. Tyler Anderson really had a resurgence a bit last year, 33 years old, 15 and 5, 257. Definitely keep that in mind going forward. I think the Orioles will definitely look on him. Absolutely, this guy for the Yankees, Jamison Talon, age 31 season, 14 wins, 5 losses, 391. This I think they're definitely looking at him. I definitely think that the Yankees have a very good rotation, and they're not going to be able. I doubt seriously they'll keep all their guys. This might be the guy that slips through their cracks a bit, and I think definitely somebody's going to take a look at him. Is he an ace? That's the question. Maybe. I think he's better than anybody the Orioles have. I think he's definitely somebody the Orioles will look into. I think these 3, this list, the 6 through 10, I think the Orioles will actually have Mike Elias and will actually have an eye on more than this. It'll be less expensive, but let's not get. And I want to clear that too. Let's not get this twisted. That's not $30 million. These guys will be 17 and 18. Some of these numbers like 11 million and all that. It'll be like 17 and 18. Maybe not longer deals, but these are the Mark Perez, fantastic last year. 31, age 31 season. Not consistent enough for his whole career. That's why he's not higher. But good last year. 12 and 8, 175 ERA. And I have Corey Kluber on here as well. Corey Kluber, I think, is ageless. I'll stick him right into any rotation. I doubt seriously he gets any type of long-term deal, but he's good. He's good anywhere you go. So I think definitely, I think any of the 32 teams would be interested in Cole Kluber. You have a hole, plug him in. He'll be great for you. I definitely think the Orioles would look at a guy like this as well, because this is not a guy that you have to pay for the long term. Like you can pay him 15, 16 million for 1 year, and I think you'd be in the running for a guy like Kluber. Absolutely. And one more. All right. Relief pitching. It looks like that graphic is running. I didn't update the 1, 2, 3. Edwin Diaz is not on the graphic because he's already signed. I think he's the number one guy on the market. Edwin Diaz has the greatest closer entrance I think I've ever seen. This side of Ricky Vaughn with the Timmy Trumpet. A lot of money he signed, $20 million a year for a closer. So that's a lot of money. These guys won't come in nearly the salary. But I think they're good. I think they will be closers somewhere. I think the first three. Craig Kimbrell. I actually love Craig Kimbrell. For years, I thought he was so valuable to those Braves teams. Yeah, he's getting older. I think he's moved a bit. I think the Dodgers actually took him out of the closer role, I think, at the end. So I don't think he's going to be back. Somebody will sign him as a closer, and you should. He's very, very good. Throws hard. Kenley Jansen, I think ditto. Dodgers gave up on him, I think, for 2. I think it was really good for Atlanta. How much money is he going to get at 35 years old? I think he's still pretty good. People keep telling me like he's the man or something. I don't really see it. I think really, they just want to move some money around maybe. And I think these two guys, I've got no problem with either of these guys as closers. Taylor Rogers, 31 saves. This is a little different. He kind of got moved out with Josh Hader and all that. I think somebody would sign. I think he will be the more gettable in the closer role, Taylor Rogers. ERA is higher, so he struggled a little bit more, but I think somebody will definitely take a look. These last two guys on the list are going to be what you call middle relief guys. I think Andrew Chafin possibly could close. He's in the Andrew Miller category. I think if somebody wants him to close, I think I don't have a problem with it. But I think he's probably a middle relief guy. And Michael Fulmer, 5'6", 5 and 6, 3.39 ERA, kind of same. It wouldn't shock me if somebody wanted to like if you have resources the opposite of Diaz. If that makes sense. So like if you don't have all this money, like you elevate a guy, these are the two type guys that you elevate. And Chafin and Fuller. All right, here we go. Got it in. So we got it in. Orioles free agency review. All right, and we're definitely going to go ahead and go over that. So long stream. So we had a part 2 this week. Next week, we're going to go over a couple things here. And we're going to go ahead and preview the game next week. All right, so there's no game. Panthers and Ravens we're going to go ahead and preview that one as well next week. And also, too, we're going to preview Orioles prospects for 2022. Prospects as of right now. So guys still with rookie status going into the following year. So definitely, we're absolutely going to take a look at that. So, and also, I'm going to have one more video. I'm going to see, this will be a total standalone, even though this one had a part 2. So, total standalone video, 5 reasons why the Ravens don't have a receiver. That's going to be on Facebook and YouTube as well. So, thank you for joining us for this video and the previous video. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Thank you for watching.